Well, absolutely. From the perspective of the South African government, is that they've been working around the clock, reaching out to their counterparts in the US, just like many other countries, in light of the sweeping tariffs coming from the United States of America. We've seen the Department of Trade, Industry and Competition establishing that exports desk. But now let's hear from the perspective and also the insights from, of course, the American Chamber of Commerce here in South Africa. Their leader here joins us now, Mr. Dlamini. Sir, thank you so much indeed for your time.
Thank you very much, Khayelihle. It's great to speak to you.
Lovely, sir. Maybe just first of all, sir, I mean, we've seen quite a number of projections around the enormous impact. Let's look at those numbers and really look at what lies ahead now.
The impact is very significant, which is why this has to be a matter of national strategic priority. If we look at the economy from a GDP perspective, it's projected that the tariffs are likely to knock down 0.2% from our GDP growth, which is quite significant. From an employment point of view, we've got anything between 30,000 to 100,000 jobs that are at stake, according to DTIC and the South African Reserve Bank. If we look at sectors like the citrus industry, which carries 140,000 jobs, we've got about 35,000 jobs that are export intensive, exposed in the citrus industry, which are highly at risk. In the automobile industry, we've got about 115,000 jobs that are at stake. I can go on and on and on. I mean, the fact is we are dealing with a serious economic emergency here that requires all hands on deck, requires all South Africans to work together to reset the relationship. The US is an important trading partner. Our American Chamber of Commerce represents over 600 American companies invested in South Africa, collectively employing over 250,000 South Africans and accounting for about 10% of GDP. It is really strategically imperative for the relationship between the US and South Africa to be rebuilt, reset, repositioned and reframed. I would like to really call on the authorities to double down on all their efforts to repair this relationship. We need, in particular, to have an ambassador appointed to represent South Africa, and that ambassador also need to be supported with all the requisite resources for them to be able to really champion our economic and commercial interests. This is the time, Khayelihle, to really pivot towards commercial and economic diplomacy, towards unifying a language between DECO and DTIC, the labor movement, the business sector, so that we promote the national economic interests of South Africa. The US, I hear people saying, well, let's look for alternative. It's fine. I would like to argue that in the normal course of managing your international trade relationships, you have to always diversify. You always have to look at strategies to penetrate new markets. But diversification does not equate to a substitute of the US. The US is the biggest economy in the world, and for us, it's our second largest trading partner. We cannot afford not to have good and productive trading relationships with such a strategic global economic player.
So others have talked about the issues around mitigation, but maybe let's just go back to the priority now. What can the Department of Trade and Industry and Competition alongside DECO do? We know that, for example, they want to make use of South African embassies and high commissions scattered all over the world as one of the ways of making sure that they galvanize support. But let's look at the immediate plan. It's D-Day now.
It is indeed D-Day, and I'm very pleased that an export desk has been announced by DTIC. Minister Pakstow has done an excellent job in terms of that. We probably need to think of more tariff relief support measures for exporters, and this is a period to engage with the companies and the sectors that are affected, so that whatever responsive mechanisms from government are informed and are targeted at really making sure that we protect the resilience of those companies. What is at stake are jobs here, and its livelihoods, and it's the sustainability of our economy's foreign exchange earnings as well. It's really, really important that we all do what is necessary. Unfortunately, South Africa is not as rich as the EU, not as rich and as powerful as China and India, Switzerland and Canada, which can offer a lot of incentives and grants to their companies that are impacted. But we have to look at what is doable within our means while we are intensifying, doubling down or even tripling down on our efforts to really make sure that we reset the relationship with Washington, D.C.
Before I let you go, sir, 600 US companies with a footprint in South Africa. What's the prevailing sentiment? What are they saying to the borders like yours in terms of the way forward and also just the investment in South Africa? I know that FDIs, South Africa has always been saying it's about time we get those and many other things as well.
Our companies are saying that we are committed to stay invested in South Africa. Secondly, they're saying we see South Africa as investable. And thirdly, more importantly, for the purposes of this conversation, they would like the bilateral trade and investment relationship to be one that is productive, that is cordial, and that is supportive of their investments in this country. We are very proud of the role that our members are playing in investing in this country. They bring in capital, they bring in technology, they bring in skills transfer, and they also help to support South African supply chains and value chains.
All right, sir, thank you so much for that insight. Of course, representing a very important Chamber of Commerce for the United States. Businesses here in South Africa, as you know, that the country has always positioned itself as a gateway to Africa and also very far-reaching implications, really, in light of these very, very devastating tariffs. Khayelihle Khumalo, SABC News, Johannesburg.